This is my April reading wrap-up as well as my May TBR. So let's get into some of the books that I read in April and the books that I want to read in March, of course. I have my reading journal here that's going to help me stay on track. So the first book that I read that I finished in April was Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. I gave this book 5 stars. It actually might be my book of the month. I don't know yet. I haven't thought about it really. But this will be a nice recap so that I can decide what book of the month for April. So Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay, I gave it 5 stars. I actually have a review too that I don't know if it's going to be up by then, but if it is, then you can go watch it. This book was so good. I loved it, and Paul Tremblay is becoming one of my favorite authors because this is the 3rd book that I've read by him, and I absolutely loved it. I got recommended it on TikTok, and it did not disappoint at all. Next book that I read was A Botanical Daughter by Noah Medlock, and that book I really enjoyed it too. It's a nice gothic horror suspense book. It's about two men who are in a relationship. One's a botanist, one is a taxidermist, and they become a duo for sure with an experiment that Gregor, the botanist, brought into their home. So he found this fungus that's starting to show signs of intelligence, and he wants to see how far he can push that intelligence. So yeah, I'd recommend. I did give it 3 stars. I would recommend it. It was really good. The premise, the writing, but I felt like there were kind of a lot of plot holes or things that you kind of just had to ignore. So that's why I only gave it 3 stars. Next up, I had The Vegetarian, which was actually a buddy read that I did with one of my mutuals on TikTok, Wendy. I really liked this book. I couldn't even do my journal entry until at least probably a week after I finished reading it because I needed to process. I had to just sit with it and really think about what my thoughts were on this book. My final rating was 4 stars. It was hard to get through, honestly. It was hard to get through because some of the thoughts in this book are so horrible. But it's a wonderful read, and I definitely want to read more by Han Kang. So this was The Vegetarian by Han Kang. I definitely enjoyed this book and want to read more of her work. The next book that I have up is The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay. So Horror Movie was my 2nd book by Paul Tremblay. So I first read Cabin at the End of the World, then I read Horror Movie, and then I read Pallbearers Club. And I love his writing style so much, and I went to the internet to find other people who also loved his writing style as much as me, and I did not find that. I don't know. I love his books, and I was it wasn't the best book, which I guess by the rating I gave it 2 stars not because it was bad, but because compared to his other work, I was like, okay, yeah, and maybe 2 stars was too harsh, but that's what I ended up giving it, I guess. So The Pallbearers Club is about a high schooler. He's a nerdy kind of guy. He creates this club to better his chances into getting into a college. That's the Pallbearers Club, where they would go to the funeral home to do help with the service for people who died without any relatives, don't have anybody to come show up for them. So then he meets Mercy, who wants to join the club, and chaos ensues. The thing about Paul Tremblay is the audiobooks and like the physical books, they're just so unique. Like he does it like nobody else does it. So I listened to the audiobook for this, and I was so confused from the start, but it was so awesome. So just just read it. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have given it 2 stars because I would recommend it and I loved it. It just wasn't like, I think the main thing is because it didn't feel like it was very indie, which makes sense for the writing, like the plot, I guess. Um, it was just kind of like, I just kept expecting things. I kept expecting confrontations, and that never came, I guess. It just felt like kind of, it just felt a little too slice of lifey, I guess. It didn't feel like anything came of it. I wouldn't really describe it as horror at all. There's some horror imagery in it, but it's not, the tone of the book isn't enough for it to make you feel horrified or like get that feeling. And so that's probably factor into my rating as well. And it looks like the last book that I've read in the month of April, which I have not put an entry in my reading journal yet, was Wool by Hugh Howey, which, if you don't know, there's a show called Silo on Apple TV that I watched and loved. I binge watched it in like 2 or 3 days, I think. Super good. It's got a book. Wool by, it's a series. The first book is Wool by Hugh Howey, and I read that. I listened to it on audiobook. It was wonderful. And I cannot wait for the second book. It is about, I mean, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like everybody should know what it's about because the show is so good, but if you don't, it's about this silo. It's kind of like a dystopian world where people are living in this silo, and the one rule is just to say that, like, don't ever say you want to go out. And if you do say you want to go out, they'll send you out. They call it sending you out to clean. So they like fit you in a suit. They give you like a piece of wool to clean the sensors that show what the outside looks like. There happens to be a cluster of cleanings that are close together, and that kind of starts questions being asked and thoughts being thought in the silo, and that kind of snowballs into our story, which I don't know if that's a good explanation, but I know that you should read it. It was really good. I really liked the writing style. I liked the pacing of the book I liked the pacing a lot. It was engaging the majority of the time, and yeah, it kept me entertained, and I really enjoyed I typically never ever watch something before I read it. I like to read it first because of this exact situation where I watched the show first, and so I was like going through making comparisons in my head, like, okay, I'm thinking too much about it and I don't want to do that. The good thing about Wool was actually the 2 or 3 seasons that Wool has on Apple TV, like, kind of it's all covered in the first book, and then there's a little bit extra after that. So it is killing me. I really want to read the second one, and I have it on hold on Libby. It's gonna be like 2 months, I think, or maybe more. I think it was like a 16-week wait or something like that. But that's Wool. The last book that I have is the last book that I have for April, which I don't even know if I can count it for April anymore, but it's Friday Black by Nanakwam Ajebrenya. I hope I'm saying that right. And this is a collection of short horror stories surrounding the Black experience, and I love this book. I need to get myself a physical copy. This is a library copy, And I've been working on this book. I was supposed to read it throughout the month of April because it's short stories, so I was supposed to like read one in between books, you know. I did not do that. I waited until the end of the month to start like getting into it more. And then I waited some more, and lo and behold, it's May and I still haven't finished. I'm a little bit more than halfway through. So this is my transition book. I really am enjoying some of the stories. I have all of my favorite ones, doggy-eared, and I cannot wait to go after I'm done reading it and just like talk about all the books, all of my favorite stories in here. There's some really amazing ones. And yeah, so this is Friday Black. I'm loving it. This is probably the first book that I'm gonna finish in May, hopefully. So now that we've talked about my April reading wrap up, let's talk. So yeah, horror movie is definitely my number one for the month. It's definitely book of the month because I loved it. I absolutely loved it. So that's it for the reading wrap up, and now let's get into my May books. So first off, we have Our Wives Under the Sea, which I have available to me through Libby. I'm very excited for this book. I saw it on TikTok. I don't know completely what it's about, because as you guys know, I like to go into reading my books blind, mostly blind. I know that it's like one of the wives was trapped undersea in a submarine or something, and now they're finally back home, but they're being kind of weird. And as somebody who like is very afraid of the ocean, I can already feel myself unsettled just thinking about it. So I'm really excited to get into this book. I feel like it's gonna make me feel that good guttural horror feeling that I'm looking for. So I'm excited for that. I'll probably start that one today as my audiobook. Next up, we have Ain't I a Woman? I also have this one coming to me soon on Libby. I actually got it last month, but Ain't I a Woman by Bell Hooks. I got it last month, but all of my books became available at once on Libby, of course, so I passed it on to the next person, so it should be coming back to me any day now. So that's another one of the audiobooks that I'm going to be listening to this month. I'm really excited. This will be my first Bell Hooks book, so I'm very excited. I went to some of the local bookstores on Independent Bookstore Day looking for some Bell Hooks, but I couldn't find it. I found one, but it was pretty expensive. And it was like it was the cinema one. It was like talking about movies. I think I'm gonna go back and get it, but I'm really excited to start it. So let me know if there's any Bell Hooks books that I should check out next. Next up on the list, I have Fledgling by Octavia Butler. I am waiting for my physical copy to come in. It should be here next week. This is a buddy read book that I'm going to be doing with one of my mutuals on TikTok. I cannot remember their username right now, but I will put it somewhere on the screen. I'm really excited for this one. I love vampires, and this is my first Octavia Butler book, so that's also exciting. I have Kindred on my bookshelf that I found at my library store, the library's bookstore. So I'm probably going to start that one in the summertime. So I'm very excited to start this one, and we are going to be annotating while we do our buddy read, so I'm very excited for that too. Next up, I have A Certain Hunger, which I have on my e-reader, so I'm really excited to get into that. I don't really know what it's about. I just know that it's got something to do with cannibalism, I think, and it was put in the same category as kind of like Tender is the Flesh, which I loved Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bastarrica, so I will be enjoying that read, I believe. Next, I want to try to make a dent in my manga collection, so I chose one of the mini mangas that's on my shelf that I haven't read yet. I actually got a bunch of manga when I was working at Barnes & Noble. Like my last week working there, I just like stacked up all the books that I was gonna buy and then bought them all. and I haven't gotten through them all yet, so I really want to start making a dent through that. So I picked The Cornered Mouse Dreams of Cheese, and I'll read the summary for you really quick. It is two men trapped by desire. When Otomo Kiyochi's wife starts to suspect that her husband is cheating on her, she hires a private eye, Imagase, to investigate him. However, not only does Imagase know Kiyochi from college, but he's been nursing a crush on the man for years. Imagase gives Kiyochi an ultimatum. If Kiyochi wants to keep his cheating ways under wraps, then he has to give Imagase something in return. Imagase demands start with a kiss, but as the two men become entangled in each other's lives, it soon becomes clear they might want more than the other can give. So I'm really looking forward to this. It's been on my shelf for a minute. So next up, of course, I'm still going to be working on Friday Black, which hopefully I'm going to finish like today or tomorrow, because as soon as I finish this, I need to get on to Mimosa by Archie Bongiovanni. This was originally supposed to be on my April list, but I just could not make myself open it. I don't know why. I know that I'm going to love this book, so I need to just start. So as soon as I'm done with Friday Black, I'm going to start this book. So I don't know completely what it's about. Oh, so Mimosa, it's about a group of like friends. They're like 30 something. They're queer. They're like here. They, the story, I guess, just follows them trying to manage just adult life, with kids, job, wife, kids, jobs, probably wives, lives, parties, and clubs. I don't know. So it's a beautiful book, and so I'm really excited, because I love the art style. It's really beautiful. So I can't wait to get into it, and I just need to start. Because this I need to take back to the library by May 7th. So that's why I'm gonna finish it, and Friday Black, so that I can get more books. So this is the next physical book that I'm gonna start. And then after that, probably Fledgling by Octavia Butler. And last but not least, A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw. This was actually a gift to me from my friend Wendy, who I mentioned earlier, my mutual on TikTok. And I'm very excited to get into this. It might be a buddy read with her. I'm not sure yet, but I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna save this for the end of the month if they have the time to read it. I don't know much about it. I only read the first paragraph, but I'll read the first paragraph for you guys too. Travis Wren has an unusual talent for locating missing people. Hired by families as a last resort, he requires only a single object to find the person who has vanished. When he takes on the case of Maggie St. James, a well-known author of dark, macabre children's books, he's led to a place many believe to only be a legend. So that's the only bit that I've read. I'm not going to read the rest because I want to go and find. So this is Future Eve, just coming for a little update. I will be adding Immortal Dark finally to my May reading list. The audiobook became available to me last night, so I will be doing an immersive experience. So I'm really looking forward to this. I have had it for a minute, but I kind of got thrown off by the hardcover, so I'm so glad that the audiobook is available, and I'm super excited to finally jump on the train and see what everybody's talking about. So one of the additional books is going to be Immortal Dark by Tigist Girma. Look at that beautiful cover. Those are the books that I'm going to be reading this May, hopefully. This is a good selection of physical books. I'm trying to get back into reading more physical books, and like just to help ground me, and definitely keep myself off of my phone, lower that screen time. So yeah, if any of these books seem interesting to you, please let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or recommendations, or if you've read any of the books that I read in my April portion of the video. please let me know. Feel free to check out some of the book reviews that I have on my channel. I have one for The Unworthy by Agustina Bastarrica. And then I have one for Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. It may or may not be out by the time this video is out, so, you know, go check it out if you would like. And thank you all for watching. Let's read some books this month, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.